Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you had a great weekend, and today we're going to be discussing solving linear equations in one variable. This will be part 2. I hope you watched part 1. Today we're going to be continuing with some slightly more complicated examples. Let's begin. Oh, and before I forget, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. This way you'll be on top of all the latest and greatest videos that are released. Enough of that though, let's get started and do some real math. Let's look at number 1. Suppose I had 0.1x plus 1 equals 5, and we're asked to solve for x. The first thing we can do is leave the variables on the one side, 0.1x on the left side, and bring over the numbers onto the right hand side. If I bring over plus 1 onto the right side, this will become minus 1. So then I have 0.1x equals 4. Well, 0.1x is really just 1 over 10x. Now if I multiply the left side and the right side by 10, I have 10 times 1/10 x equals 4 times 10. Well, 10 times 1/10 is just x, and this is 40. So x equals 40. Let us look at number 2. If I have 3/4 x plus x minus 2 equals 1, and we're asked to solve for x. What we can do here is we can group all the x's on one side. So we can have 3/4 x plus x and move the minus 2 on the right side. When we move the minus 2 on the right side, this becomes a plus 2. So we have 3/4 x plus x, or 4 over 4x is the same as 1x, equals 3. Working on the left side now, we can add both terms. 3/4 x plus 4 over 4x, we can get a common denominator of 4, and we can write 3 plus 4 multiplied by x equals 3. Or 7/4 x equals 3. Remember, we need to solve for x. So if we multiply the left side by 4 over 7 and the right side by 4 over 7, on the left hand side we'll have x, and on the right hand side we'll have 12 over 7. 12 over 7 is just 1 and 5/7. Therefore, x equals 1 and 5/7. Another way of doing this is to cross multiply. We multiply 4 times 3, and then we bring the 7 on the bottom. Then we'll have x equals 3 times 4 over 7, which is 12 over 7. Or 1 and 5/7. Moving on to number 3. Suppose I had d plus 2 multiplied by d minus 1, subtract 5, and that's all equal to minus 1. D can be our distance, for example. It's just a variable, it's an unknown. And the question is to solve for d. Well, again, we can gather all our d's on the left-hand side and our numbers on the right-hand side. So let us begin. We have d plus, we distribute, multiply the 2 throughout, so we'll have 2d minus 2 minus 5 equals minus 1. We proceed by gathering like terms, so 2d plus d is 3d. Minus 2 minus 5 is minus 7, and that's equal to minus 1. Let us leave the d on the left-hand side, so we'll have 3d, and bring the 7 on the right side. Well, that'll become minus 1 plus 7 when we bring it onto the right side. Continuing, we'll have 3d equals minus 1 plus 7 is 6, or now we divide by 3 both sides, and we'll have d equals 2. We could think of this as d equals 2 inches, 2 centimeters, 2 meters, 2 miles, or anything, really. Let us look at the next example, number 4. 3t minus 5 equals 1 over 10. And the question is to solve for t. We begin by writing out 3t. We leave t on the left-hand side, and we bring the numbers on the right-hand side, so we'll have 1/10. The minus 5 comes to the right side, that becomes plus 5. So now we gather like terms. However, on the right-hand side, to gather like terms, we need to write 5 as a fraction. This becomes 50 over 10. Continuing, we have 3t equals 1/10 plus 50/10 is 51 over 10. Now we need t by itself, so we divide both the left-hand side and the right-hand side by 3. So we have t equals 51 over 10 divided by 3. Or this is also, we could think of 51 over 10 divided by 3 as 51 over 10 divided by 3 over 1, which is really the same thing as 51 over 10 multiplied by a third, which is just 51 over 30. So then t is 51 over 30, which is 30 goes into 51 one time with 21/30ths left over. T we can think of as time, so this is less than 2 seconds, for example. Problem 5 involves solving the unknowns or unknown sides of a rectangle. Let us suppose we had a rectangle as such, and we wrote that this is 14 inches or centimeters, and this is 50 inches or centimeters. And I had x plus 20 on this side and y minus 2 on this side. And the first question was to solve for x, or the unknown here. Well, we can write this equation as x plus 20 equals 50, since this side is x plus 20, and it must equal this side here, which is 50. So we have x plus 20 equals 50. We bring the 20 onto the right-hand side. That's going to become minus 20. So we have x equals 50 minus 20, or x equals 30. Therefore, x equals 30 units, or 30 centimeters, or 30 inches. Now, similarly, to solve for y, which is on this side, we can write another equation where y minus 2 is equal to 14. Let us write that out. Y minus 2 equals 14. To solve for y, we leave y on the left-hand side, and we move the minus 2 on the right-hand side. When it moves to the right-hand side, it becomes plus 2. So we have y equals 16 units. Therefore, we can say that x equals 30 and y equals 16. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please click like, subscribe, comment below. Look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day and thanks so much for your support.